If you want to do streams where the battery on the Sony ZV-1 never dies, then this video will show you all the options available. My name is Vic Barry, and for tips, techniques and thoughts on making vids, hit subscribe, especially if you find this video useful. This video will put to bed forever the Sony ZV-1 USB webcam power issues. They're gone, okay? It's a question I get asked on a nearly daily basis. It's the same answer all the time. And after this video, I will be no longer replying to Sony ZV-1 USB continuous power questions, all right? Don't feel bad. I'm not feeling bad. And this is for the Sony ZV-1 firmware 2.0. So if you're on the older firmware, make sure to upgrade it. I've got a video for that. Before we get going on the power options available for the Sony ZV-1, I've plugged my Sony ZV-1 via USB desk grommet that's connected to my computer with USB 3.0. I'm going to leave it run until the camera either melts, dies, or I get bored. By the end of this video, we will see how long it's lasted. Will it even pass an hour? We'll find out. See, the USB is the main option for most people. Plug the camera into the USB port, and not only can you now stream audio and video because it's firmware 2.0, but the camera is constantly powered, meaning you can stream for as long as you want. Well, that's the idea anyway, but lots of people are struggling to get beyond an hour. It's happened to me a couple of times. So here's a few suggestions. Before we get to that and into all of that, how's the ZV-1 doing right now? Over an hour, and so far it's still going. Firmware 2.0. Surely, I don't know, look, maybe there's not much left. We'll check again in a bit throughout the course of this video. Right, USB power. So here's a couple of things that you gotta check. Make sure the USB cable that you're using is capable of data and power transfer. Test it with the cable that came with the Sony ZV-1. You haven't thrown it out, right? Now, if you can't find that, try a few different USB cables. Also, make sure the USB port you've plugged the Sony ZV-1 into is capable of transferring power, and make sure it's capable of transferring enough power voltage. Laptops in particular may not be able to deliver enough power, so the battery will trickle down and then you'll get stuck with the hour. Look, try different USB ports as well. Also, make sure the auto temp is set to high so it doesn't turn off, and USB power is enabled so the camera can constantly be charged. From my perspective, this isn't even plugged directly into the computer. It's going to that USB grommet that I saw into the desk, and that's connected to the USB 3 port on the PC. What do you do though if all of this doesn't work for you? What's the other options? And one of these is a bit risky. So you could go down the route of a USB battery pack and a HDMI capture card like an A10 Mini or an Elgato Camlink, and you could power the camera separately and use the HDMI out for your video. But that can be a pricey option. Before I go through one final but slightly risky option, let's see how the ZV-1 is going. It's still going for 3 hours. I'm going to leave this run and see what else happens, and we'll check in a minute. But the last option available here is the risky one. This is a dummy battery. So this is basically a fake battery that plugs in and is powered, in this case via USB, from a power bank or whatever. But this is a risky option because you can't just plug a dummy battery into any old plug that you might have lying around and just hope for the best. If you get this wrong, all right, and I can't stress this enough, if you get this wrong, you'll fry the camera. You cannot exceed 5 volts, so check what you're plugging it into, and the output needs to be at least 2.0 amps because there's not enough power otherwise, but it can't be no more than 5. So the dummy battery that I've got is the DKX1 DC coupler. It's cheap and cheerful, and I've left the link in the description if you want to check it out. But I'm a bit like, maybe I shouldn't use it. I don't know. That's when you get all these warnings on the documentation that comes with it, it's like, Let's jump back to the Sony ZV-1. Has it melted now? Has it shut down? Okay, auto temp off. It shut down. The camera got too hot, so just over the 3 hours, it was still going all via USB power, and then it shut down. Like, let's think about this. I'm living in Ireland, so we're not exactly in tropical conditions here, but between lights and the heat of the computer, the room is relatively warm, but I'm not sweating or anything. Not at least in my face. I don't want to do this, but I bought the battery for the sole purpose of this video, so just for the hell of it, let's plug in that dummy battery and see how long it lasts. Now, I'm plugging this dummy battery into the Sony ZV-1 adapter that came with the camera, so this outputs a maximum of 5 volts, so everything should be fine. But again, this is a cheap battery coupler. It's got really good reviews, I'm just like going, I don't want to fry my camera, even though I know I won't, but you know, you got that thing in your head. Now, I put this dummy battery in literally 5 minutes after the Sony ZV-1 shut down, so I can't see this lasting for as long at all, but let's see what happens and run the clock again. Let's say you want to do very long streams. Maybe you're teaching, maybe you're doing all day streams for gaming or whatever. What if you want to go beyond that 3-hour limit I've hit? Here's the thing, you may have different results, and you will have different results depending on where you're shooting. Ambient temperature, of course, is your enemy. The hotter the room or the hotter where you are, it's going to shut the camera down quick. But even then, what do? I really do think that you may have to get another camera, but I'm going to jump back here to the Sony ZV-1 and just see how that dummy battery is going. I don't smell smoke or there's no fire alarm going off, so we're probably okay, but I'm not sure if it's still going. As you can see, it is still going, coming up on the 4-hour mark via this dummy battery, via the Sony adapter that came with the Sony ZV-1, so I know it's safe. It's not going to output any more than 5 volts, and it's plugged into the electricity. I haven't had that high temperature thing come on at all for this entire duration. Now, all in all, the camera has been on kind of for most of the evening. There's at least 5 or 6 hours has gone into this video just on the Sony ZV-1, just running, shooting that iPad, which has been recorded on OBS. If you want your Sony ZV-1 to last a long time, I'm not going to keep going on this here. I just want to shut it down, but I reckon this will go for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours easily. Then the dummy battery is your best bet. But I cannot stress enough, please be careful, because you can fry your Sony ZV-1 if the voltage is too much. Check out this video here all about the Sony ZV-1 that I think you guys will absolutely love. If you have found this video useful, please hit the like button, consider hitting subscribe around here as well, and I'll see you on the next video. And until then, don't stop fighting for yourself. Do I smell smoke? Fire? Oh, it's just a fart.